Introduction ===. Welcome back to DevOps Genius Zone. Today we are taking a deep dive into how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer. This is one of those topics that can genuinely transform how you work as a DevOps engineer. Whether you're just getting started or you've been in the industry for years, I promise you'll walk away with actionable insights you can apply immediately. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get started. What we'll cover today ===. We'll begin with how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer matters right now in 2025. Then we'll break down the core concepts in simple terms. After that, I'll walk you through a practical step-by-step guide, show you the best practices used by senior engineers, highlight the most common mistakes you must avoid, and finish with a real-world production example. This is going to be a comprehensive guide, so stay with me. How to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer matters in 2025 ===. Kubernetes automates deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications. It is the industry standard for running cloud-native workloads at scale. The demand for engineers who understand how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer has skyrocketed. Companies are actively searching for people who can implement this correctly, and salaries reflect that. In a recent survey, DevOps roles requiring how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer expertise paid 15 to 20% more than generalist positions. If you're not already comfortable with this, now is the time to invest in learning it deeply. Core concepts explained ===. At its heart, how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer exists to solve one fundamental problem: how do we make software delivery faster, more reliable, and repeatable at scale? Without it, teams rely on manual steps, email approvals, and tribal knowledge, all of which break down as systems grow. The key mental model is declarative versus imperative. Instead of telling your system, do this, then that, then check that, you declare the desired end state and let the tooling figure out the steps. This approach is more robust, easier to audit, and scales effortlessly. Another crucial concept is idempotency. Running the same operation multiple times should produce the same result. This is what makes automation trustworthy. You can run your pipeline 100 times and get a consistent outcome every single time. How it works under the hood ===. When you interact with how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer in a real environment, there is typically a control plane that receives your instructions, compares the current state with the desired state, and calculates the difference. It then executes the necessary actions to close that gap. This reconciliation loop runs continuously, meaning any drift from the desired state is automatically corrected. Understanding this loop is the secret to debugging. When something goes wrong, you ask, what is the desired state? What is the current state? Why are they different? That simple mental framework will help you diagnose issues faster than any checklist. Step-by-step practical guide ===. Let's get our hands dirty. First, make sure you have the prerequisites installed. You'll need a working environment with the necessary tools. I'll assume you're on a Linux or macOS terminal, but everything also works on Windows with WSL. Open your terminal and let's start with a basic setup. Run the following commands to install the core tooling. Pause the video if you need to copy these. Imagine we show commands here. Create a new project directory and initialize your configuration files. The most common beginner mistake is skipping version control. Initialize a Git repository immediately. Every change you make should be tracked. Now let's write a minimal working example. The goal is to get something running end-to-end as quickly as possible. Once that works, you can iterate and add complexity. I'll explain each line of the configuration so you understand exactly what it does. Best practices from senior engineers ===. Practice number 1, the principle of least privilege. Always grant the minimum permissions required for a task. Never use admin credentials for routine operations. This limits the blast radius if something goes wrong. Practice number 2, make changes small and frequent. Small changes are easier to test, easier to review, easier to roll back. Large, infrequent releases are a recipe for disaster. Practice number 3, automate everything you do more than twice. If you find yourself running the same commands repeatedly, write a script. If you run that script repeatedly, put it in your CI/CD pipeline. Your time is too valuable for repetitive work. Practice number 4, document the why, not just the what. Your configuration files show what you did. Comments should explain why you made a specific choice. That context is invisible to anyone reading the code 6 months later. Practice number 5, monitor your automation, not just your applications. Your deployment pipeline, your infrastructure provisioning, your secret rotation all need alerting. Silent failures in automation are the most dangerous kind. Common mistakes and how to avoid them equals. Mistake 1, jumping into configuration without a plan. 5 minutes of design saves 5 hours of undoing bad decisions. Write down what you want to achieve before you touch any tool. Mistake 2, ignoring security from the start. Secrets hard-coded in config files, overly permissive access controls, unvalidated inputs, these create vulnerabilities that are painful to fix later. Build security in from day 1. Mistake 3, not handling failures gracefully. Every step in your automation should handle the case where it fails. What if the network is down? What if a resource already exists? Plan for failure. Mistake 4, over-engineering too early. The urge to build the perfect system before you know your requirements leads to complexity that slows you down. Start simple and iterate based on real needs. Mistake 5, not testing your automation. Your infrastructure code needs tests just like application code. If you can't test it, you can't trust it in production. Real-world production example equals. Let me share a concrete example from a company I worked with. They had 10 microservices running on Kubernetes. Deployments took 3 hours of manual work every week. Environments were inconsistent between development and production. Incident resolution was slow because nobody knew which change caused the problem. After implementing how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer properly, following the practices we just discussed, deployments became fully automated and took under 10 minutes. Environment drift disappeared because everything was defined as code. Incident resolution time dropped by over 60% because every change was tracked and auditable. The business impact was even more impressive. The team went from spending 40% of their time on operations to less than 5%. They could finally focus on building features instead of fighting fires. This is the real value of doing how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer the right way. Summary and next steps equals. Let's quickly recap what we covered. We started with why how to debug Kubernetes pod failures like a senior engineer is critical in 2025 and the underlying concepts that make it work. We walked through a practical step-by-step guide, explored best practices that senior engineers follow, identified the most common mistakes, and saw a real-world example of the impact. Your next step is to take action. Set up a practice environment this week. Try the hands-on exercise I described. Break things and fix them. The fastest way to learn is by doing. If this video helped you, please smash the like button. It helps the channel reach more DevOps engineers who need this content. Subscribe to DevOps Genius Zone for a new in-depth DevOps video every single day. Drop your questions in the comments. I personally read and respond to every one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.